This is Amy Wentley with Chai Knuckles Knitting, and this is episode 2020-03, the Umaro Blanket, Step-by-Step Lace and Cables, row 3. This is a series of videos, there's 5 of them, about the Umaro Blanket by Jared Flood. They cover the various rows in the chart for this project, and also the last video covers how to run a lifeline. So let's jump into row 3 of the Umaro chart. So this is the Umaro chart. These are rows 1, 2, and 3. Get them a little closer for you. On row 3, we've turned the work again, and we're back to reading the chart from the right to the left this time. All of the odd number rows in this chart are read from the right to the left because this blanket is not done in the round, it's done flat. Also, the orange lines mark the markers on the work that you can see here. So in this row, we have near those markers on those orange lines, we have knit 2 togethers and yarn overs right next to each other along that marker line. What's going to happen when we get there is we're actually going to have to move the marker because the marker is going to be between 2 stitches that we need to knit 2 together. So this video is going to show you how to do that. So the first 5 stitches in this row are knit, purl, knit, purl, knit. Let's start with that. So yarn and back, knit, bring the yarn to the front and purl. Take the yarn to the back and knit. Bring the yarn to the front and purl. And then take the yarn to the back and knit. The next stitch is a yarn over followed by a slip, slip, knit. So we're going to bring the yarn to the front to prepare for the yarn over. And we're going to leave the yarn in the front because after we slip, slip, knit, we're going to take the yarn over the right hand needle to knit these 2 together. So we're just going to leave this yarn in the front, and then we're going to slip as if to knit, which twists the first stitch, slip as if to knit, which twists the second stitch. We're going to take our left needle and put it in front of those 2 stitches. We're taking the yarn over the right needle to make the yarn over to the back, pulling it through and dropping that stitch off. So you have a knit, purl, this knit, then a yarn over and a slip, slip, knit. See, the yarn over is the hole. I'm going to pause for a second to clear my throat. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So the next 6 stitches are a knit, knit, a purl, a knit, knit, and then a knit 2 together. So let's do knit, knit, purl, knit, knit. See where we are, okay? So it's knit, knit, bring the yarn to the front and purl, take the yarn to the back and knit and knit. And then you'll see here it says knit 2 together, but I only have 1 stitch before my marker. So what I'm going to have to do is move this first stitch out of the way and move my marker. So whenever you move a stitch, you don't want to twist it. So you insert the right hand needle into the stitch on the first stitch and you do it as if to purl and you move it off. So then I grab this marker, and you can put it down if you want, or if you can hold it in your hand, you can do that too. I'm going to put the stitch on the right hand needle back on the left, and I'm going to knit these 2 together. And I pull the yarn through. And then I put the marker back on the right hand needle. Now you know that marker's in the right place because you did knit, knit, purl, knit, knit, and the knit 2 together, and the knit 2 together is before that orange line. So that's where your marker goes. So then you just continue across the row, and the next stitch is a yarn over followed by a knit stitch. So we're going to bring the yarn to the front, we're going to leave it there, and we're going to knit the next stitch. We're going to carry the yarn over the right hand needle to the back, pull the yarn through, and drop the stitch off. So you now have a yarn over and a knit 1, and we're right there. So we need to purl and knit. So let's do that. Purl and knit. And then the next stitch is a yarn over followed by a slip slip knit. So we're going to bring the yarn to the front. I'm going to let it stay there, and then we're going to do the slip slip knit. So we're going to slip as if to knit, and then slip as if to knit. Take the left needle and put it in the front of those 2 stitches. Carry the yarn over the right needle to the back of those 2 stitches, pull the stitch through, and drop it off. So now if you start from the marker, what you have is a yarn over, a knit, a purl, a knit, then you have the yarn over, the big hole, and your slip slip knit. So the rest you've got coming up in this row, then you've got a knit, knit, purl, knit, knit. So let's do that. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. Hope it doesn't make you queasy. The way the camera's set up here is, it gets bumped every once in a while. Knit and knit. Okay, so that was knit, knit, purl, knit, knit. So the next is a knit 2 together, but again, I have 1 stitch on one side of the marker and 1 stitch on the other, so I'm going to have to move this marker. So I'm going to insert my right needle into the stitch as if to purl and hold it there. I'm going to remove the marker, and I'm going to put the stitch back, and I'm going to knit these 2 stitches together, wrap the yarn around the back, pull it through, and then I'm going to replace the marker. So between the markers, I'm going to have a yarn over, a knit, purl, knit, a yarn over, a slip slip knit, 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 purl, knit, knit, and then the knit 2 together and the marker. So there should be 12 stitches between these 2 markers at all times. Okay, and we're going to finish up the last 6 stitches, which is a yarn over, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit. So yarn over, I bring the yarn to the front, and then I knit the next stitch. I take the yarn over the right hand needle to the back, knit, and then I bring the yarn to the front and purl, knit, purl, and knit. So why don't we just go back again and check our work, make sure everything worked out right. This is our chart, and you can follow along with me. We've got a knit, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, yarn over, slip slip knit, 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 purl. Purl is right there, that's the purl bump, knit, knit, and this is knit 2 together right there before the marker. Here's where the marker is. That's the knit 2 together. Okay, and then we have yarn over, which is right there, knit, purl, knit, purl, slip slip knit, 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 purl, knit, knit, and this is the knit two together, and there's the marker, and then we have the yarn over, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, and that is row 3. So I'm going to stop for a little while, and I'm going to knit up a few more rows, and I will join you back at row 7, and that's where the cables show up. See you then.